Hello, good morning, everybody. Thank you very much for being here. This is a non-technical lecture. It's not about technology, it's about business and it's about sustainability. So I will be talking on a subject which will very dear to all of our hearts, but it's very seldom discussed. My name is Imtiaz Rastgar. I founded my company when I was still in college, and that was way back in 1964. So, so it's a long history. And the company I founded, I retired from it 20 years ago, and it exports parts made in Pakistan to more than 70 countries in the world. So that's about me. And also, I'm on the technical circuit with Pakistan Defense. I am on the board of several of defense production units. So that brings me face to face with a lot of SME companies, which were like what I used to be 30, 40 years ago. And I have studied them and we represent them here, a platform, and also seeing what is their future. So this is at the bottom is PMX. PMX is my consulting company where I bring my knowledge to the market and to help smaller companies to grow into the next phase. So today's objective of today's talk is to offer insights and strategies tailored for defense industries and subcontractors who are seeking global expansion, but also they are seeking sustainability. Yesterday there was a lecture, a small talk from Boeing, and they said they want to see their vendors whether they will be alive in 10 years or 15 years. See? So a lot of small vendors, they are not alive in 10 or 15 years. So that is the reason for this talk also. So there are some inherent uh, things about it's common thing that starts with everybody starting a small business, he starts with a set of technical manufacturing skills. But as the firm progresses, they lack management skills, business strategy, foresights, and marketing skills. And most important, they are lacking transitional skills. How to, if the founder wants to retire or he suddenly dies, is the company still going to be in business? So that is a common problem with all small companies. But then what are the common features? When people work for defense industries, they are able to maintain high quality and security standards, and they learn about global standards. Then they are always very innovative, and they know how the supply chain works. The thing about it is sustainability and responsibility. So they are a very responsible set of companies. They learn all these things. Their life is always from one contract to the next contract. So always they are fighting for their survival, because if they don't have the next contract, they are out of business. There is no cash flow, and bread and butter issues were there. And this is a typical SME person. He has to look at technology, he has to look at his customers, method for doing business, the need for continuous market analysis. He's all the time scanning the market. He also has a radar in his mind to look at what he has to do next. So all the time, and that is his life. And he's always jumping from one opportunity to the next opportunity. So at times the opportunity is, in one direction, the next opportunity in another direction. So he is never able to do a stable line of business. He is only looking, because he is in a state of crisis all the time, and he wants to look at the next opportunity. So it doesn't matter where it is coming from. So what is the typical life cycle SME subcontractor? So these are some of the characteristics. They start up with a certain idea. A person has a certain skill, he starts in a certain way, and then from there on he moves on. He wants to survive in the market. When he has done that, and then unless he expands, he cannot retain his labor force, people, many other things. So those are all the challenges which continue until the company becomes mature. This is going to be posted on my website also. So if you want to download my plan, it will be available on my website. So from launch to growth to shakeout to maturity and to decline. So the thing is, this portion about you see a lot of companies coming up to here, but then from here onward, the owner manager, how he manages the company, either to go up or to go down. So these are the areas which need attention of owner managers, but they don't have the time and the thinking to do that. So, but it is very important to bring this. My purpose in doing this lecture is basically to bring this phenomena to your attention. So, we have to, has to be interested in the long-term survival of SMEs. It's not only the SME itself, the country to which that SME belongs also has a vested interest in that SME. Their defense forces have in this thing, the family and the society, all. So if that SME dies, it is not the personal loss of that man or that family, it is also the loss of the nation, at least the country in which it is residing. So, so what he is doing all the time, there are high defense entry barriers in the defense, lot of competition, his market dependence. So all these things, they impinge on the psyche of that person. He's all the time thinking and trying to survive and keep the cash flow going, retain the staff, and try to grow and try to have a positive cash flow. So many things that one person who started the company, he is juggling with all these. Probably, generally, they don't have the time to understand what I'm now talking. That the firm has to decide whether to innovate and renew its offering to find new growth or risk decline as the market changes, and competition is also always there, and the challenges continue to come by technology, by new competition, by new situations in the world, many things happening. So if he chooses a renewal path, then he has to start thinking how he can renew his company and make it sustainable. And then it's not innovation only on the technical side, it's innovation on the business side, on the business growth. So these are the possibilities for a small business owner. He can, he should make a situation, be able to at least think, what happens if he dies? You know, what will happen to his family, to his company, to his customers? So many things can happen. So he has the option either to sell the business or to prepare for its succession. If he is going on the declining path, did he prepare his children for it, or did he prepare his staff for it? There are many things which he has to be looking at, or maybe if he's not thinking about, he suddenly has to close and go. By the way, only 5 months ago, a very dear friend of mine who was just one of a kind in Pakistan, he was a rubber technologist. And when it got to elastomers and rubbers, he was one of a kind. And he started his life as a rubber, with a degree in rubber technology, brought in old machinery from the UK in Pakistan, started it, and in our defense programs, he was a key person. 5 months ago, he died. Only 3 weeks back, somebody told me that his children were not able to keep the company going. They closed down the company, they sold the machinery in scrap, and the building has been put on rent to somebody. So you see, this is a real scenario. It just happened in the last 5 months. And this can happen to any SME vendor. So people should start to think how they want to remain afloat even when they die. Even if they die, they should leave behind a company which is still functioning. So that's another challenge for the SME. So that's my idea in bringing all this to you. So closure or through these stages, the subcontractor, how can he reinvent himself? How the others have done. Here are some very famous companies, and you know all of these. And they have all, I will want to go quickly through this because you know all these companies. They started with small companies, but they have grown into huge companies, but they have some very common features among them. So all these companies, they manage to survive. And we need to see how did they manage to survive. So you can see already all these are star performers today, and they went beyond being a small-time defense contractor to being global players. So what is the formula for their success? So the first thing was that they specialized in a certain technology. If you talk about Rhodes and Schwartz, they will never go into metal parts or things. They are strictly into wireless communication. And all the other companies, you see them in very particular areas. So the SME vendor, he needs to specialize in a certain, then his success is guaranteed. Or the other thing is there are some very, very fine niches in the business situation. And if this company can get into that niche and specialize very deeply into it, then also he can survive. Uh, the other thing is that a lot of people, they try to work within their borders. When they work within their borders, their market is limited. But if they have a product and an offering or a service which they can broadly distribute all over the world, then their chances of survival and chances of having a good cash flow improve many, many times. So how you do it is to focus a little bit on your product and technology, but a lot on the marketing side. So if you have the world market in your sights, then you are able to get into those areas. So all these risk mitigation, competitive edge, survival and growth. So the moment you start looking at the whole world as your market, then it's also a recipe for sustainability and better chances of survival. And how you learn about this, for example, strategic partnerships with tech firms. When I was very young, we were seeing Japanese companies doing subcontract work for American companies. They learned the business from the Americans, and then they chose their fields. But when Japan became Japan, Korea was still developing. So the Koreans went to do subcontract work for the Japanese. And from that subcontract work, they learned some techniques, marketing strategies, systems, standards. They learned many things. And then their own companies, they went. From Caterpillar, it became Komatsu. From Komatsu, it became Hyundai. So, that's how the chain went. And from there, the Chinese have taken over. So that kind of a strategic partnership and diversifying the product only to meet within a certain span, within a certain bandwidth, so that you remain in your area of core specialization. And then, of course, R&D investment and but subcontract work teaches a lot as long as you have a long-term plan to go beyond subcontract work after some time. So the other thing is a lot of defense work has dual use, particularly in aerospace. When I look at it from the point of view of, let's say, the same technologies which go into radars and missile systems, they also go into electromedical apparatus. They go into other things. So there are certain fine niches somewhere where the company can take that bit of technology and take into another product line or into another let's say culture line or somewhere, and bring it out as a global product. So that is the idea in leveraging dual use technologies, and of course making strategic partnerships and alliances like I've mentioned previously, doing subcontract work, or there are many ways of cultivating. So innovation, ladies and gentlemen, that is at the core, and encouraging a culture of innovation within the company, utilizing defense R&D practices to innovate within the tech sector. And when I say innovation, it's not only technical innovation, it's also business process innovation. So if you start looking at your business process and how you are organized and how you can have another way of interacting with the big wide world, then that is also innovation. Second life of defense projects. I have some examples here from, these are all American examples, like this undershirts, feminine products, EpiPens, GPS, duct tape. These were basically defense products. They were developed for the US defense, and then companies grew out of this. The same subcontractors or contractors, defense contractors, they brought those products into the market and brought them to uh, use of ordinary citizens. So that is the other side to look at. Then the next thing is marketing. A lot of people in the technology sphere, they think we are very good with, with technology, and they think this marketing and salesmanship, this is something small. But if you can't sell it, there's no need to make it. You see, so marketing is as important as the technology. So if you look at iPhone or anything, there's technology, but there's a lot of marketing around it. Hmm? Product design, marketing, consumer behavior, etc. So many things, and that's what makes these great companies great. So that is very important. And defense SMEs, they always lack this vision. They need to be looking at this. So then, of course, cultural adaptation. Maybe you have a product which adapt to a certain culture, and that gives you an opportunity. The other thing is, within the company, the owner manager has to start looking what happens either if he dies or if he needs a successor. So whether his children are ready for it or his staff is ready for it, somebody can buy him out or he can sell the company to some bigger company. He must be all the time, he must have a radar looking out for that possibility. So this is some of my ideas that, people should be joining industry associations, engage with local business communities outside of the defense circuit. Then strategic alliances, seek out mentors, attend conferences, advisory boards, participate in peer advisory groups, foster academic connections, be selective with counsel, encourage employee networks, evaluate the company's impact on and online networking. So be seen and show yourself and see and be seen. So what the owner manager can do, these are some tips for owner managers of subcontracting companies. And then he has to invest a little bit in business education. And at one point, he has to let go of a little bit of the technology side or the engineering side and look at the business, continuous learning, networking, and hiring and empowering skilled managers. Because those skilled managers might be the people who will replace him or take the pressure from his head. And advisory boards and strategic planning. But how can he do this? The other thing is marketing and brand building. You see, this is where a lot of owner managers, they fail to attend to this thing. They don't have a brand. The companies I have just mentioned, they have become brands. So they don't even need to manufacture. They can have subcontractors to make the product for them and their brand sells. So if you are a subcontractor, small SME company, then you should try to build your own brand. So how does a consultant help? The thing is, certain things everybody is not good for everything. So you can have a consultant to do this for you. So this is the role of a consultant. He can plan for you global expansion, marketing and sales strategy, organizational development and change management, and financial planning and investment, and of course, continuous improvement adaptation. Basically, a consultant can help you to understand the market needs and the opportunities. At times, people from outside are able to look at a business in a different way than the owner of the business can do it. So that is where consultants come in, building a brand or bringing your attention towards a brand and then building that brand and positioning that brand, then communicating value and building trust with the target customers, launching new products, strategic partnerships, and navigating the global expansion. These are all the things which the SME subcontractor company generally don't have in their mind. That is what they can gain by having a consultant on their side. So this is my company. I retired from active business and now I help companies to do exactly what I was mentioning. And this is what we are doing. For a lot of companies in Pakistan, we are doing. And I have written a couple of books on global positioning and how the German companies did it. Because I was trading with Germany for since 1980. So I have seen a lot of German companies, SMEs, and I put together my thoughts on this. And this is also about global positioning of your company. So these are my contacts. All this will be on the website. So thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.